Hi, I'm Clinton.
And I'm Claude, and we're the Cream Team. So for today's episode, we are reviewing episode 5 of Loki, so let's get going.
No. Hiya, Thanos. We're the lamest offenders.
I don't even know who you are.
We have a small but dedicated fan base.
Be sure to visit our sponsor at BaskervilleProductions.com.
Welcome back. So on this episode, it basically follows exactly what happened with the previous episode where Loki just got pruned, which I will always laugh at. So he gets pruned and he looks up and there's 3 different Loki variants. You have the alligator Loki, you have the boastful Loki, he's like the big guy with the gold hammer. The classic Loki, and then obviously the kid Loki. So they've, like, you slowly learn that they've been pruned to by the TVA about basically doing things that aren't very Loki, because I know for the classic Loki, he realizes that, so he escapes Thanos' whole thing, which was kind of cool. Like, he really mastered, kind of these holograms, like his projections or whatever, and then that's how he escaped Thanos. And then he realized that over the years that he missed his own brother, and then the TVA, that's how they... And without going into each specific one, my favorite's definitely the alligator Loki, because it didn't explain anything about it. And
I love how the camera would just randomly cut to him, like, for his expression, he's just... I love that. I thought that was really comical. Was really
and then he'll like growl, and then classic Loki would translate. He's saying a prayer for us. So basically, they tried to get this the Loki, the classic Tom Hiddleston Loki. They need to escape because there's this big cloud Galactus monster called Goliath that they need to run away from, because he's basically this guard dog, big bad.
He wipes out all the variants.
Yeah.
So anything that is pruned inevitably makes its way to this.
It's basically purgatory.
Yeah, beyond the void kind of thing. So everything is just there. It's just a barren wasteland, and Goliath inevitably takes care of it.
Big dog Claude comes out and starts barking at him. So they basically go, and the Loki's like hideouts, just like a stoner basement in the sewer. One of my favorite parts, there's so many Easter eggs with this, because it's nothing but reality changing things. So the first thing you see, I think it's a Thanos copter.
Yeah, you see the yellow Thanos copter, just with Thanos.
Yeah, which, as you may know, is from the comics, where he's just shaking his fist out of his little Thanos copter. Yeah, and then we finally, as they're going down into this kind of like sewer system where their hideout is, you get to see there's a Mjolnir hidden in the dirt,
like randomly
and
there.
then right underneath it, it's Throg, the Thor frog, and then on the jar it says 365, which is the issue that Thor gets turned into a frog. So that was really cool.
He's just trying to hop out. He goes, the underground lair reminded me a lot of arcades. Arcade from the X-Men comics. It looked like something he would make. So I thought, actually was trying to like figure out, like, come on, say arcade. Say arcade somewhere. I couldn't see it. But so they're down there, and they're all just reminiscing, sharing each other's story on how they got here. And then Tom Hiddleston is just like, all right, that's it. I'm going to go beat the dragon. And he tries to escape. He tries to just walk out and lifts the lid for this very Fallout-looking shelter. Yeah. And the other Loki shows up, the presidential Loki, with complete with like a Loki campaign pin and a green suit. Exactly like the comic. It was great. And a bunch of goons around him too. So you think they just randomly stumbled upon him. It turns out the boastful Loki gave up their location in exchange for
being a king.
Being a king.
Yeah,
and
king of
supplies.
the underground.
Yeah, it's just like it was my favorite scene of this whole episode, because everybody's double crossing everybody, and they all say about that. It's like, yeah, I'd give you my army and everything else about that. It was great.
And then probably my favorite MCU character of all time is that alligator Loki. He's not taking any crap. He just bites off the presidential.
I thought his hand. Yeah,
it's like Captain Hook or something.
And he gives the best scream so far in the MCU. Yeah. He just like belts it out. It's so funny.
So basically, and then you have the classic Loki, and his projections is he gives them a way to escape. So him, alligator Loki, and the kid Loki, they all escape from that cluster. And at that point, they start to get behind a classic, well, I guess Tom Hiddleston's Loki's plan to basically somehow kill Big Dog Claude.
Yeah.
All the while, all while this is still happening, it cuts into Sylvie in a little exposition.
TVA,
yeah. So about her, because it basically, it's right after the events of episode 4. Yeah. So it's her and Ravonna, and basically they're trying to
Miss
Minutes, and they're trying to determine how to find who's in charge of the TVA.
Yeah.
And Ravonna's obviously she's got her own plans.
Yeah, she's trying to basically stall. She seems earnest in wanting to know who did it, but she's also very. She like Sylvie, we can't trust her. Like we just don't know what her end game is, and she's like basically stalling for time till the guards show up, and then Sylvie tries. They try to ascertain where everybody is, and they pretty much get it.
Yeah.
So then Sylvie, in part plan, I'm assuming, part desperation, she just prunes herself and
prune me down.
Yeah. So
this portion of this episode is probably my least favorite. It was boring,
Yeah.
and also made me wonder what all the other TVA agents, because not surely they've all died. It was super empty.
And you would think too that word would have gotten around, like, oh hey, we're
massive panic.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be here. Like,
right?
What? Like, it's not. No, it's just,
understandably Ravonna's still trying to keep everyone in line, trying to show some sort of like authority and order, but at the same time, it was just kind of
that was a little like kind of weak, but.
So after Sylvie prunes herself, she is now in the purgatory, the void, and her whole mission is basically to find Tom Hiddleston's Loki. And as soon as she gets there, Big Dog Claude shows up, and it's so stupid because she shows up. She's in a big nest. She's like, "Where am I?"
Yeah, she's in a bus. Or something
it was a bus, but at the same time, it was like a big bird's nest. I'm like, all right, whatever.
Okay, yeah.
And so she's running, and then the void's coming out, and it's Goliath. And then it was just so stupid. So it was just chasing her. And then she grabs them with hentai like tendrils, and then she's like gets a brief glimpse of it. So like it was like almost a mini enchantment to it, and I was like, what the hell happened there? And then you see it's Mobius luckily is here too.
The deviant or a variant pizza car.
Yeah.
I don't know what that
it's
car
like pizza
did.
time. It's like Peter Parker's car. So he basically saves her from Big Dog Claude, and then their whole plan with Sylvie is trying to think of where the real, like people pulling the strings for the TVA. So they need to, or I guess she needs to enchant Goliath.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she still wants to find Loki, and then just out of this stroke of luck, she just randomly runs into
barren wasteland. Yeah, all of a sudden they're there. But to be fair, they were all chasing Goliath. And then one of the oddest, kind of funny scene though too was like a battleship just drops out of nowhere. This warship. So I'm assuming it won a battle that it wasn't supposed to.
Right, like in World War II or something.
And these sailors just like, all right, fire. And they just start shooting at it, and it just destroys the whole boat and everybody on it. So
because it's really cool because it looks all rusted after the cloud, and then the guys are turning into like basically skeletons and wished away.
Loki's like, all right, new plan.
Yeah.
We're not going to take this thing head on.
And then probably the most charming thing about the whole episode is Sylvie and Loki are starting to get more close and close, closer together, and they're basically saying, I don't know, like, it's kind of cool because they're asking each other if they're going to betray each other, like, at the end, if they do win. And then it kind of goes from there, and then Loki conjures a blanket, and they're about to do some hanky-panky, and then it just stops from there.
Yeah. Thankfully.
Yeah, it did last for a little longer than I expected it would. It was about, I felt like a 5 to 10 minute scene, this entire, like, them just talking.
Yeah, it did go on. That was one of the slower parts, that and the TVA, but I felt the rest of the episode was pretty breakneck speed.
Yeah.
It was insanely
fast. I didn't hate because it's just adding more context to their relationship as characters to each other.
I really hope they don't end up together. That would be really weird.
Yeah.
That would be,
I think it'd be hilarious.
It'd be also be pretty
classic Loki.
apropos for the show. So it's like, all right, that's fine. But the kid Loki had probably the most profound line out of the entire episode. He said that every time a Loki tries to better themselves, they end up here.
Right.
So every time they try to change their
mischievous ways.
Yeah, they just they get punished for it. So it was actually really kind of like, that's why there's so many Lokis in there too, which I actually really respected that. That was pretty cool. That was a really good line.
Yeah, and then from that they basically are trying to figure out how to defeat.
How to enchant
Goliath. Galactus, just call him Galactus. So basically, classic Loki, Alligator Loki, and Kid Loki go about their way. They're like, this is our home. And then Mobius is, I'm going to burn down the TVA.
Yeah, because Sylvie kept just whatever her name is, Kang's subordinate.
Yeah.
He kept her.
Ravonna?
Sylvie, thank you. Gosh, yeah. Sylvie kept Ravonna's tempad. So they are fully charged.
Yeah, the
Tempads,
No Gauge.
So Mobius is like, all right, I'm going to go back to the TVA. He's like, what are you going to do? Try to save people? Like, no, I'm going to burn it to the ground. It's like, thanks for the spark.
Yeah.
Like, winks at him. Oh, and then he offers to shake Loki's hand, and Loki hugs him, and he like whispers.
Best friends don't shake hands. Best friends hug.
And he whispers to Sylvie like, "You're my favorite."
And it was cool too because that was like a proper goodbye between Mobius and Loki.
Yeah. Well, he'll be.
Hopefully,
sure
yeah.
Yeah.
And then basically, then they're off to fight Galactus, and so Loki needs to distract the big fart monster while Sylvie, I guess, grabs one of the hentai tentacles, which is so goofy. I don't know. I don't even know how you determine where the tentacles are coming at. Like, it's just like whatever. That was kind of weird.
Reach for the clouds.
Just a big vape rip. And then they are losing. They are definitely, this isn't going according to plan. Like, because Loki's whole job is to distract it, and then it's coming straight for Sylvie, about to chomp. And then the coolest moment was when classic Loki just decides to basically just conjure Asgard out of nowhere.
He creates this massive diversion.
Yeah.
And it's Asgard. He just recreates Asgard with all of his power, and it was really neat. That was pretty cool. And it's distracted just long enough for Sylvie to kind of basically coach Loki, like, hey, we're more powerful than we think we are. Let's do this.
Yeah. So, we all have the similar abilities.
Yeah. So then they do, and that's just speaking of fart monsters, it just becomes this green cloud, and it, like, just has this little break, and you see this like weird castle looking thing in this background. So.
Yeah, I think it's possibly way back in time, maybe I don't know. It doesn't really look like Middle Ages, but almost a little bit. But I've noticed, I don't know if it was on purpose, but the colorway is really purple, and then on the outskirts it's green. So that's Kang's colorway.
Yeah, for
sure.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, during all this, because of the distraction, classic Loki makes that sacrifice, which it was awesome. Like, it was really cool.
I don't know. I'm sure I've seen that actor in other things, but I would love to see another show with him and the kid Loki.
Oh, for sure.
And the alligator, just going crazy doing the thing.
Buddy cop movie, so and. So it leads up. So this is the 5th episode. The last one is next week. So I was super pumped from, episode whatever it was for WandaVision right before the last one, and they did not stick the landings. These Disney Plus shows do not have a great track record for the final episode. Yeah,
so. Kevin Feige has said, though, this is the one that is going to really have the biggest impact on the MCU. So I'm hoping we see Kang.
Yeah.
I really want to see
Kang the Wang.
I want to be right.
I mean, he's definitely in Ant-Man 3, but possibly just teased here, just kind of like to sprinkle in the seeds, kind of like how they did for Thanos and Avengers. So
that should be great.
Yeah.
I mean, bring down the TVA. Give us Kang, because it's Ravonna. It's got to be all the breadcrumbs are leading to this moment.
Right.
So if it's I've heard Loki may be a thing. Like, it might be Loki at the end of this.
Loki variant or something.
I'd be so pissed because that's so dumb.
Yeah.
What is the point of that?
Yeah, I know. So, but we'll see. I don't know. Disney Plus Marvel shows don't have a great track record for the final episode. No. So hopefully Loki breaks that.
Yeah.
But all in all, I really did enjoy this episode. Honestly, my favorite portion of this was classic Loki. So I think after everything, and obviously the alligator Loki, I'm giving this one an 8.
I was thinking a 9, but after talking through it, I'm actually going to give it an 8 as well.
We're in agreement.
Still solid. It's
right.
I mean, 9 is just short of perfection, which it wasn't that close, but it was still really good. It was awesome. So
yep. So we like that one. But catch us for our next video, which will be finally the Black Widow review. So after a year.
A year. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so we're looking forward to finally watching that.
Feels like 2 years.
For sure. Well, anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you guys soon.
Thanks so much. Stay lame.
Bye.